Hello, how are you doing today? My name is Curtis and you're watching Positive Breaks. I hope that you're doing well. So today in this video, I'm going to be talking about my trip to Zambia. I had made a video like this in the past, not too long ago, and I kind of like how it went. I liked having something to fiddle with my hands since I wasn't opening baseball cards, and it gave me an opportunity to just talk about my trip. Again, I don't have anything scripted. I'm just going to talk for about 10 minutes or so, just about how the trip went, what we did, and what we saw. So let me go ahead and get started. While I was there, we had a team of 5, and we teamed up with 2 of the staff members at African Vision Hope in Zambia. So we had 2 nurses with us. We had myself, and we had 2 other team members, and we teamed up with a nurse and their tech professional, and we did little projects and things at the different schools. And one of the things that I was working on, I was teaming up with the tech person. His name is Nobi, and we were at the schools working on some of their tech problems. I am a software developer. We're kind of focused on the test side of things, but still a lot of devy stuff. And he got his degree in just tech. I don't know exactly what his degree was, but he has the home office tech professional for African Vision Hope. So part of his responsibilities is making sure that the schools have the right technology they need. And boy, was it scarce. We didn't really have a specific agenda. When we went to the schools, we just addressed what needed to be addressed. So at one of the schools we went to, they were having Wi-Fi issues. So yeah, we were out in the middle of nowhere, but the schools had Wi-Fi. That was very important because that allowed the teachers to use the computer, use the internet, use their phone to pull up the lesson plans, and it was very useful when it worked. The problem with the Wi-Fi is that since they were in a very, very poor community, there was a lot of theft. There were a lot of thieves. A lot of things got broken and stolen. So the challenge we had was to come up with a strategy for the wireless signal to make it all across the school while making it look like there was no internet. So we couldn't have any antennas, couldn't have any routers, we couldn't have any repeaters that were in a window or outside of the buildings. So we had to try to architect a signal triangle around the school where the source of the signal was hidden. So that was one of the challenges we had. It was a fun challenge, a fun task to take on. And I think we came up with a strategy. I think it was working pretty well. They probably made some adjustments since I've been there, but that is okay. Let's see, another one of the schools. The laptops that some of the staff members used, not necessarily teachers. Each school had what they call a CPO, a Child Protection Officer, and they have laptops where they keep a lot of data. And that way, each of these officers, CPOs, their job is to get to know the students, get to know their families, and find out how they can help. Does that family need food? Does that family need clothes? Is there anything that African Vision Hope can do to help that family more than what they currently are doing, which is providing a free education? So their computers are very important, and a couple of the computers just weren't working. So we troubleshooted why they weren't working. We were doing some cloning of drives, doing some drive mapping, trying to get things to work. And we got a couple of them to work. We still had some issues with other ones. We were working with limited tools and limited supplies, but that was one of the challenges we were working on. I find challenges fun and interesting, even if we're not able to accomplish them, which for some of them we weren't. So that was kind of sad, but that's the truth of the work we were at. See, another one of the schools, they had one industrial size printer. So you can imagine having one printer for the entire school. how important that printer was. Well, it was malfunctioning. It wasn't working. So that was one of the other tasks we did at one of the schools, was fixing this printer. Like I said, I'm a software developer. I'm a software guy, not a hardware guy. So that means that I'm good at fixing programs your computer runs, but if your computer needs a new, RAM stick or a new bus, I'm not the guy to help you with that because I'm not familiar with opening up the computer and looking inside. So having that with an industrial sized printer, taking it apart and putting it back together, that was interesting. I learned a lot. And we ended up taking it apart and putting it back together, doing some cleaning of some of the rollers and the areas where the ink hits the paper, and we were able to get it working again. So that was a huge benefit, was that we didn't have to pay anybody to do that. I mean, yeah, Nobi is on salary, so he gets paid for working, but we didn't have to pay a contractor or a printing company to come fix it. So that was amazing, very helpful. And let's see, one of the other schools, I think we're doing more of the cloning hard drives. So that was those three main schools. And the fourth school I wasn't able to go to, and it was a school for preschool and kindergartners. So they didn't have a lot of tech things going on there in the first place. That was kind of the focus of what I was working on when I was at the schools. That was the purpose for my part of the trip. I was out there to help out with the tech. We had the two nurses who teamed up with the nurse on staff, and they were having clinic at the schools, so they were able to provide medicine for any of the students who were having any pains, and a lot of them did have pains, like a toothache, because their teeth were rotten. Brushing teeth isn't part of the culture in the area. Even if it was, these students don't have enough money to pay for a toothbrush, toothpaste, and safe water to brush your teeth with. Other things they were treating was a lot of kids had rashes, and it was from scabies. So scabies is a very contagious skin rash that simple over-the-counter medicine is able to solve. Well, they didn't have that, so going to the free clinic when we were there, they were able to get this medicine and help with these students who had these rashes from scabies. And there were some other miscellaneous things that were going on that the nurses were able to provide the knowledge and wisdom and advice and guidance to help out those kids in need. And the other two team members were taking pictures of the students. So African Vision and Hope are similar to like World Vision or Compassion International. They have child sponsorships. So that's one of the ways they're able to raise funds to pay for the schools and to pay for the teachers and to pay for the food and to pay for the rescue homes was through these child sponsorships. So what these other two people were doing was they were tracking down all the students who either needed an updated picture or needed a picture in the first place, and we're getting pictures and getting stories so that they could add them to their profiles and help get these students sponsored so they could get the free education and the food meals and all those other wonderful things that they provide. With that said, they don't turn students down, so even if a child is not sponsored, they're still able to go to school. The sponsorship was just a way to dedicate funds to that specific school, so that they don't have to take that out of the general fund, which is used for other things like scholarships. So once a student has graduated from the African Vision Hope High School, if they want to continue their education, they can apply for a scholarship, and African Vision Hope will then provide funding and scholarships for them to go to college for free. They also have working on, building these schools isn't free, so that comes out of the general fund, and they just finished building a new rescue home for the co-ed rescue home, and that was a pretty big project. They are in the middle of building a STEM school so they can have a more specialized high school for their students and just for the area, so that like I said, they can help prevent poverty through education, and by providing a STEM school, they're able to bring in that much more education and that much more specialized teaching to these students so they can go on further in life. But to look at the clock, I'm kind of at time. I'm trying to time box these discussions. So let's talk about what I've been playing with here, what I've been fiddling with. So similar to the other video, I was drawn to the wood carvings, and this artist showed me the big five. So what's the big five? The big five are the big five animals that big game hunters would go to Africa and Zambia to hunt down. Obviously, it's illegal now, but the big five were the rhino. So I have the rhino here. I think this artist did a great job carving these as well. These are carved, these are wood. We have the elephant. There's a beautiful carving of this elephant here. I like how even his trunk is open so you can grab something right there. Really, really cool carving. We have the ox. So here's the ox. See the curved horns there. Beautiful carvings. We have the lion. I like how they kept the tail and the back foot attached so it wouldn't be so fragile. And here's the leopard. It looks kind of like a hyena, but it is a leopard. You can see the spots. This is the one that got broken when I gave it to my boys. You can kind of see a line right there. This foot broke off. I was able to super glue it back on. But that's when I said, sorry guys, you can't play with these. These are going to be Daddy's wood carvings, and I might give them to you again when you get older. But I have these carvings here on my desk, not too far from my computer monitor, just as a reminder of where I went and kind of some of the takeaways I got while I was there. Well, I do have a couple more trinkets to tinker with while I kind of brain dump some thoughts on you all. So I look forward to sharing that with you again in the future. So my name is Curtis. This is Positive Breaks. Stay positive, break open something new. Bye!